The human delegation arrived at the Galactic Council station in the outer system of Caloris 9. The station floated silently above a gas giant, glowing faintly in the dim light of the nearby star. It was massive, much larger than any human station, and filled with shapes and colors that humans had never seen. Towering structures spiraled up like living towers, and light moved along paths that seemed to float in midair. The aliens who lived there had long arms, multiple eyes, or smooth skin that glimmered like metal. Every species on the council looked different from the others, yet all of them moved with quiet confidence, as if they owned the stars themselves. Ethan Cole, the human ambassador, stepped from the shuttle with his team. He was tall, with steady eyes and a calm voice. Next to him was Laura Price, the cultural liaison, who had studied alien manners for many years. Captain Ryan Hall, the military observer, followed, scanning the station carefully. He was quiet but alert, always noticing things that others missed. Last was Mia Brooks, the interpreter, who could understand dozens of alien languages. Together, they were the first human delegation to attend a council session in over a century. The council chamber was even more impressive than the outside. It was a circular hall with a high ceiling that reflected the light like water. Seats made of unknown materials floated in the air for each species. The humans were led to a platform near the center. Ethan bowed slightly, respecting the council's custom. Laura mirrored the gestures of other delegates, showing her knowledge of their manners. Ryan stood straight, hands behind his back, and Mia adjusted her translator earpiece. The aliens stared at the humans. Many whispered among themselves. "So polite," one said in a voice that sounded like wind in a cave. Another tapped a clawed finger on their floating console and whispered, "They seem so small. Do they even understand the rules?" Ethan noticed the looks but kept his calm, polite smile. He had been trained for this. The council believed humans were gentle, fragile, and easy to control. That assumption would soon be tested. The session began with the council speaker, a tall figure with 6 arms and a shimmering face. "We welcome the humans. We hope your species will understand the wisdom of the council." Ethan nodded and replied, "We are honored to be here. We hope for a peaceful and productive discussion." His voice was steady and polite. Every word was chosen to show respect, yet not give away any weakness. The topic of the meeting was introduced, a treaty regulating human expansion near the border of unclaimed space. The council wanted strict rules. Humans could not set up new stations or weapon posts without council permission. They wanted to monitor trade and ship movements closely. On the surface, it sounded like protection, but Ethan and Ryan noticed something different. The council maps showed patrol ships near human colonies. They were already moving into territory humans considered theirs. Ethan asked questions politely, showing interest rather than accusation. "Can you explain the reason for these patrols?" he asked. The council speaker answered vaguely, using words like security measures and mutual benefit. Ethan nodded, as if accepting the explanation, but inside he noted the details. He would report them to Earth later. Laura whispered to Ethan, "They are watching your reactions closely. Do not show impatience. Keep calm." Ethan nodded again. He had learned from experience that politeness could hide anger, and that was exactly what he intended. For now, humans would be the picture of courtesy. The council, however, believed they could push further without fear of retaliation. During the session, Ryan noticed something strange. A small fleet of council ships had moved near a mining station that humans had built near the border months ago. No warning had been sent. No communication had been given. It was a clear violation, but the council chamber remained silent. Ethan did not speak immediately. Instead, he wrote a private note to Mia, who would translate it and send it to Earth. The message was calm and factual. He described the movement of ships and their positions relative to human stations. After the first session, the humans were led to a side room for private discussion. Ethan leaned over a console, watching live feeds from sensors on the mining station. The station was quiet, but the presence of council ships was obvious. Ryan pointed to a cluster of ships. "They are too close. One mistake and it could start a conflict." Ethan did not raise his voice. He said, "We will keep our approach diplomatic. For now, the council believes we are cooperative." Ryan grunted. He did not trust the council at all, but he respected Ethan's restraint. Laura looked at the other delegates. "They do not understand humans," she said softly. "They believe our politeness is weakness." Ethan nodded. He had sensed that too. "Perhaps, but we will use this to our advantage," he said. "For now, we must remain calm and observe." Mia added, "I'm translating every word. The council members speak carefully around us, but in private, they do not hide their disdain. They call humans children and little players." Ethan's eyes narrowed slightly, but he maintained a neutral expression. He wanted the council to underestimate them, to think humans were harmless. The council returned for the second session. They presented a draft treaty. Humans would share control over border stations, allow inspections, and limit weapons. Ethan asked detailed questions about each clause. He spoke slowly and politely. "How often will inspections occur?" he asked. "Will humans have full access to review findings?" The council representatives gave vague answers, as if assuming humans would accept without protest. Ethan nodded as if satisfied, but inside, he was calculating every possible consequence. Ryan whispered to Ethan, "They are testing you. Every word you accept gives them more control." Ethan replied quietly, "Yes, that is why we observe, record, and wait. Our politeness is a tool." Laura and Mia listened carefully. They understood that humans had patience, but the council did not. Aliens often judge behavior without understanding the intent behind it. Politeness in human culture could hide determination and strength. During a break, Ethan sent a private message to Earth. He wrote that the council's approach was aggressive, but humanity would continue negotiations peacefully. Earth's reply was short: "Continue talks, but monitor military movements." Ethan smiled slightly. Earth had trusted him to maintain calm, but they also knew humans were not defenseless. The next day, the council's actions began to show their real intentions. A vote was held behind closed doors, approving the placement of council ships at the human mining station, without notifying the human delegation. Ethan discovered this during a routine review of sensor data. Ryan's jaw tightened. "They are moving without telling us. That is a breach," he said. Ethan's face remained calm. He wrote a note to Mia. "Do not respond yet. Let them show their hand fully. We will act with clarity and purpose." As they returned to the chamber, Ethan prepared himself. He would continue to appear polite, calm, and respectful, but he now carried a heavier weight in his mind. The council had underestimated humans. They had assumed that politeness meant weakness. That assumption would soon be challenged, though the council did not know it yet. In the chamber, Ethan listened as the council spoke about the temporary oversight of human stations. They presented it as a minor safety measure. Ethan's lips pressed together, but he did not speak immediately. Instead, he let his expression remain neutral, as if considering their words. Laura whispered, "They will push until you react." Ethan nodded ever so slightly. "Then we will react on our terms, not theirs." The first session of the week ended with Ethan promising that humans would cooperate and review all council requests. The aliens left the chamber thinking they had secured another victory. They believed that humans were polite, peaceful, and easy to manipulate. Ethan and his team left quietly, their eyes on the live feed of the mining station. That night, in the private quarters of the human delegation, Ryan and Ethan reviewed every detail. They watched the council ships hover near the station, counting numbers, noting positions, and assessing risks. Ethan wrote in his personal log, "Humans will remain polite for now. They will speak softly and act calmly. But the council will see clearly what happens when humans are pushed too far." Laura prepared cultural notes, ensuring that every interaction would follow council expectations. Mia checked translations and confirmed that every message sent to Earth was precise. The humans were a picture of professionalism, calm and polite, yet underneath, every one of them was alert, calculating, and prepared. As the stars moved outside the window, Ethan reflected on the situation. Humanity had survived countless challenges. They had faced predators on Earth, survived wars, and endured hardship in space. Politeness was not weakness. It was a choice, and the council had yet to learn that sometimes patience could hide strength that no one expected. The first part of the story ends with the humans preparing for the next day's session. They were calm, polite, and smiling. The council believed they had nothing to fear. But Ethan, Ryan, Laura, and Mia all knew that the line between patience and action was thin. Humanity's true response had not yet begun, and when it did, the council would watch in disbelief as politeness disappeared in real time. The next day, the human delegation returned to the Galactic Council chamber. The air was tense, though the humans remained calm and polite. Ethan Cole walked in first, his face neutral, showing no hint of anger. Laura Price followed, carrying notes on the council's customs. Captain Ryan Hall scanned the room carefully, his eyes noting every detail of the alien representatives. Mia Brooks adjusted her translation device, ready to record every word. The council opened with the draft treaty. They wanted humans to share control over border stations, to allow inspections at any time, and to limit their own weapons. The council spoke slowly, assuming humans would accept without protest. Ethan nodded politely and asked detailed questions. How often would inspections occur? He asked, would humans have full access to review the findings? The council answered vaguely. They used words like mutual cooperation and safety protocol. Ethan smiled, a polite gesture, while internally noting their evasiveness. He could see the plan forming. They wanted control without giving humans any real power. Ryan leaned closer and whispered, "They are testing you. Every small agreement you make gives them more control." Ethan nodded quietly. "Yes, but we observe and record. We wait for the right moment. Politeness is our shield for now." Laura added softly, "They think our calmness is weakness." "That will change soon." Mia confirmed. The private translation showed disrespect. They call humans juveniles and little players. The first vote of the day shocked the human delegation. Behind closed doors, the council approved sending ships to a human mining station without notifying the human representatives. Ethan and his team learned this during a review of sensor data. The ships were now hovering near the station, monitoring human activity. Ryan's jaw tightened. "This is a clear breach," he said. Ethan kept calm. "We wait. Let them reveal their intentions fully. Then we respond." He wrote a message to Earth, reporting the breach and the positions of council ships. The council returned to continue the session. They spoke of temporary oversight as if it were a simple safety measure. Ethan listened, keeping his expression neutral. Laura whispered, "They will push until you react." Ethan nodded. "We will act on our terms, not theirs." The discussions moved slowly. Ethan asked polite, careful questions, but every word tested the council. He inquired about inspection schedules, oversight procedures, and council authority. The aliens gave vague answers. Ethan nodded, making notes, never raising his voice. Politeness had determination. During a break, Ethan, Ryan, Laura, and Mia reviewed the data again. They watched the council ships, noting positions, crew numbers, and ship types. Ryan spoke quietly. "If they act aggressively at the station, we will need to respond immediately." Ethan replied, "Yes, but we will respond with precision, not anger." Mia added, "Every word we send to Earth is clear. They will know the situation exactly. We are not being naive." Laura looked at Ethan. "We must maintain appearance for now. Politeness will protect us until the right moment." Ethan agreed. Humanity's calm demeanor had fooled the council so far. They believed the humans would not act against them. That belief was about to change. Later in the session, Ethan addressed the council. "We understand your concerns for safety. We are willing to cooperate under fair terms. But any action on human territory without notification is unacceptable." His tone was polite, yet firm. The council speaker waved it off as minor. A small precaution, they said, for everyone's benefit. Ethan remained calm. He noted every detail and waited. Ryan whispered, "Their arrogance may cost them dearly." That night, the humans reviewed every possible outcome. Ethan, Ryan, Laura, and Mia discussed strategies in quiet tones. Ethan wrote in his log, "Patience now ensures we have full advantage later." The council does not understand that politeness is a choice, not weakness. The following morning, the humans returned to the council chamber. The council expected compliance. They presented more detailed rules for inspections and oversight, thinking humans would continue to nod politely. Ethan asked again, will human commanders be present at all times? Will all reports be shared promptly? The council avoided direct answers. Ethan continued to nod and smile. We will review your proposal carefully, he said. We appreciate your attention to our safety, Ryan whispered. Do you feel it? They are trying to push us too far. Ethan replied, yes, and when the moment comes, they will see our full response. Politeness remained their shield, but beneath it was determination and strength. Humanity had faced far greater challenges and survived. The council underestimated them. Later, Ethan reviewed communications from the mining station. The council had placed officers on the site. They had begun to instruct human workers on minor tasks, but the humans resisted politely. Nothing violent had occurred yet. Ethan decided to keep monitoring, waiting for the right moment to act. Laura reminded him. Politeness will hide our intentions, but it will not last forever. We must prepare for when we must act. Ethan nodded. They were ready. Every plan was in place, every position monitored. The council believed they had control. They did not. The next session began with the council presenting more proposals. They wanted human oversight of border territories to be limited. Ethan asked polite questions about consequences and procedures. The council offered vague answers, assuming humans would accept. Ethan smiled, nodded, and recorded every detail. Mia whispered, the council is underestimating us. They think we will not act. Ethan replied, yes, that is exactly why we wait. They will see our strength, but only when necessary. Politeness continued as a shield, hiding the fire behind calm faces. As the session ended, Ethan sent another detailed message to Earth. He explained every council movement, every breach, and every irregularity. Earth responded with approval. They trusted the human delegation to remain calm, to negotiate, but also to protect their own. Humanity's patience was not weakness. That evening, the delegation gathered in their quarters. Ethan reviewed sensor data and council communications. Ryan checked tactical reports. Laura organized cultural notes, ensuring continued compliance with council expectations. Mia verified translations and messages to Earth. Everything was precise, professional, and polite. Yet beneath the calm exterior was readiness, determination, and the knowledge that the council had underestimated them. As they looked out at the stars, Ethan spoke quietly. Politeness can hide strength, but it cannot last forever. The council believes we are harmless. Soon, they will see the truth. The others nodded. Humanity had been tested, observed, and underestimated. The council had watched politeness and believed it weakness. They were wrong. The first real test of the council's assumption had not yet come. But when it did, the humans would respond in a way that no one could ignore. And the council would learn, in real time, how easily politeness could disappear when it had been a mask for strength all along. The human delegation returned to the council chamber the following day. The air was tense, but Ethan Cole, Laura Price, Captain Ryan Hall, and Mia Brooks walked in with calm, polite faces. They had spent the night reviewing all council movements and sensor data from human stations. Everything had been recorded carefully. The council believed humans were still polite and easily controlled. They were about to see the first crack in that politeness. The session began with the council presenting their plan for overseeing human stations. Ethan listened carefully, nodding politely. He asked questions in a calm, steady voice, making sure to sound interested rather than confrontational. Will human officers have full access to review all reports? He asked. Will inspections occur only at scheduled times? The council avoided direct answers, speaking in vague terms about safety and cooperation. Ethan made polite gestures, smiling slightly as if satisfied. Inside, however, he was noting every omission, every hidden intention. The council thought they were winning the trust of humans. They were wrong. Ryan whispered, they are pushing too far. The moment they touch our workers, it will be over. Ethan nodded. Yes, Politeness will hide our strength for now, but it cannot last if they continue to provoke us. He sent a private message to Earth, reporting every detail of the Council's movements. Earth responded with approval and instructions to continue observing and waiting. Later, the delegation received real-time data from one of the human mining stations. Council officers had arrived and begun instructing human workers to follow their orders. No one had died, but the humans were being treated as if they were inferior. Ethan and Ryan watched the live feed. Workers were kneeling as instructed, but some were whispering plans to one another. They were calm but alert, Laura said quietly. They are trying to teach humans obedience. They do not understand us at all. Mia nodded. Yes, and they will learn soon. During the next council session, Ethan addressed the council directly. We understand your concerns for safety. We are willing to cooperate under fair and equal terms. Any action on human territory without notification is unacceptable. His voice was calm, polite, and firm. The council tried to dismiss it as a minor issue. A small precaution, they said, for everyone's benefit. Ethan nodded politely. We will review your actions carefully, he replied. He did not shout or lose his composure. Politeness was still their shield, but determination burned beneath it. As the session continued, a scuffle occurred at the human mining station. A council officer attempted to force human workers to surrender their personal equipment. Some workers resisted. One human technician stood firmly and refused to hand over controls. The council officer raised a hand, ready to use force. Ethan, Ryan, Laura, and Mia watched the feed in silence. Ryan said under his breath, "They are provoking a fight. We should intervene now." Ethan shook his head. "No, let them reveal their true intent first. Politeness must last just a little longer." The council did not know that the humans had already prepared for this moment. Ethan had arranged for reinforcements from nearby stations to move quietly into position. Backup human ships and security personnel were now near the station, ready to act if the council escalated further. The council thought humans were isolated and helpless. That belief would soon be corrected. In the chamber, Ethan's calm tone continued to hide his awareness. He asked precise questions about the council's authority and the timeline for oversight. Every vague answer from the council was noted. Laura whispered, "They have no idea we are prepared. They think politeness means weakness." Ethan nodded. "Yes, they will learn, but only when necessary." Meanwhile, Ryan reviewed the tactical feeds. He could see every council officer on the mining station and their weapons. He calculated the time it would take for human reinforcements to arrive. Everything was in place. Ethan and the team were ready to act at the first sign of real threat, but they would still appear polite and patient in the council chamber. The council leader spoke again. "We only want compliance for safety. Any measures taken are for everyone's benefit." Ethan smiled politely. "We appreciate your concern. However, safety must include respect for human territory and human workers." His words were calm, almost soft, but beneath them was clear determination. Ryan leaned closer and whispered, "This politeness is fragile. They are about to see it crack." Ethan nodded. "Yes, we wait for the right moment." Later, the council received reports from the station. They saw that some workers had resisted minor orders. The council was annoyed. They believed humans could be controlled with gentle authority. Ethan's message to Earth included all these details, and Earth replied, "Continue observation. Act decisively if necessary." Ethan reviewed the situation. He saw that the council's arrogance was their weakness. Politeness had been the human shield for too long. Soon, the council would push past the limit. When that happened, humans would respond, and the council would finally understand the consequences of their actions. At the next session, Ethan maintained his calm demeanor. He asked precise, polite questions, slowly highlighting council violations. He did not raise his voice. He did not shout, but his words carried clarity and consequence. Any unsanctioned actions on human stations will require full review and immediate correction. He said, "We expect full cooperation and transparency." The council speaker waved it off as minor. Ethan remained silent, nodding as if accepting their response. Inside, however, he was ready. The humans at the mining station had already prepared their positions. Reinforcements were in place, ships were ready, and workers knew their instructions. The council's officers were being watched in real time. Every move was logged and prepared for immediate response. Laura whispered. They still do not understand. Their underestimation is their weakness. Ethan nodded. Yes, politeness hides strength, but the time to reveal it is near. As the session ended, Ethan sent another detailed report to Earth. The council believed humans were compliant and cooperative. They were wrong. Humanity had waited, observed, and prepared. Politeness had been a mask, a way to study and anticipate every council action. That night, Ethan, Ryan, Laura, and Mia reviewed everything once more. They watched the live feeds from the mining station. They checked communications, tactical positioning, and council actions. Everything was in place. Humanity's strength had been underestimated, but now the time to act approached. Ethan looked out at the stars, quiet but determined. The council believes politeness is weakness. Soon, they will see it disappear. And when it does, they will understand that humans are not easily controlled. The delegation prepared for the next day. Politeness remained their outward appearance. Calm smiles hid readiness and power. The council had underestimated humanity for centuries, and their arrogance had blinded them to the truth. Humanity's patience was about to end, and the council would witness the first real test of their assumptions. Politeness would vanish in real time, and the consequences would be immediate and unforgettable. As they rested that night, Ethan thought of the workers at the mining station. They were human, resilient, and prepared. They would not be controlled or intimidated. Humanity had survived far greater challenges. The council's arrogance had made a mistake. The first real clash was near, and the humans were ready to show their true strength. Hidden beneath years of calm politeness, the council would soon watch in disbelief, learning that patience, preparation, and polite strength were far more dangerous than they had ever imagined.